Good morning, children. This is Shivalsa speaking. So, as in the previous videos, we had a discussion on properties. So, today we are going to start with the exercise in which a few explanations will be required. So, those explanations are of about additive inverse, multiplicative inverse, and multiplicative identity. So, as you can see in the exercise, there are a few questions are given regarding additive inverse, multiplicative inverse, and multiplicative identity. So today we are going to discuss about these three topics along with some examples. So I'll be expecting once I over with my explanations, you will be starting solving those questions which are given in the book. So let us have a look, children. We will be starting with the first concept, that is of additive inverse. So the very first thing when we talk about additive inverse, so what is additive inverse? The definitions is to be known. Additive inverse means with a number, what is to be added to get 0? Means we are imagining a number to be added with that particular number in order to get 0. For an example, if I add 5 with 5, I'll get 10. Okay, so if I add 5 plus 5, I'll get 10. So in this case, I'm getting a different value which is much bigger than this. The number which I'm considering, if I add that number with this, so I'll be getting a bigger value. So this is not the additive inverse. If I imagine a number that is 10, what is to be added with this particular number in order to get 0? Of course, that number is minus 10. If I add 10 and minus 10, 10 plus minus 10, 10 minus 10 will be resulting 0. So here we can see the number which I have considered, that was 10. I'm adding minus 10 with that number and I'm getting 0. So additive inverse of plus 10, this one is 10 only, of course, plus 10. So additive inverse of plus 10 is minus 10 and additive inverse of minus 10 is plus 10. If I consider any negative value, suppose minus 6, what is to be added with this particular number in order to get 0? So if I add plus 6 with this, minus 6 and plus 6 will be resulting 0. So here I can say the additive inverse of minus 6 is plus 6 and additive inverse of plus 6 is minus 6. These were some negative and positive numbers. So negative and positive integers rather. What about rational number? When we are considering rational numbers, for an example, I would like to take 5 by 7. What is to be added with 5 by 7 in order to get 0? So I have to imagine a number which I'll be adding with 5 by 7 and I must get 0. So the number comes in my mind, that is minus 5 by 7. How come? Let's have a look. LCM of 7 and 7 is 7. It's coming 5 plus it's coming minus 5. So here I'll write 5 plus minus 5 by 7. 5 minus 5 is 0 by 7, resulting 0. So the additive inverse of plus 5 by 7 is minus 5 by 7 and additive inverse of minus 5 by 7 is plus 5 by 7. So they are vice versa, means both the numbers are additive inverse of each other. We can go for any other examples. If I take suppose minus 2 by 6, additive inverse of this number is plus 2 by 6. If I take 6 and 6, 6 minus 2 plus 2, they will be cancelled. 0 by 6, answer is 0. So here we can see that additive inverse of minus 2 by 6 is to plus 2 by 6, or additive inverse of plus 2 by 6 is minus 2 by 6. So children, in this way we will be practicing additive inverse. More examples are given in the exercise. Let us talk about multiplicative inverse. Question is that, so what is multiplicative inverse? So very first thing that we have to know, that is the definition. Definition of multiplicative inverse is what to multiply to get 1. means if I consider a number, I have to multiply something with that particular number in order to get 1. If I get 1, means those numbers are multiplicative inverse of each other. Suppose I'm considering a number 3 by 7. What is to multiply with this number in order to get 1? Of course, that number will be 7 by 3. If I multiply 7 by 3 with 3 by 7, I'll surely get 1. So multiplicative inverse of 3 by 7 is 7 by 3, or multiplicative inverse of 7 by 3 is 3 by 7. They are vice versa of each other. Similar examples can be given. Suppose minus 2 by 9. What is to multiply with this number in order to get 1? If I multiply 9 by minus 2 with this number, so minus 2 will be cancelled, 9 will be cancelled, I'll get 1. So 1 is coming over here after multiplying 9 by minus 2 with minus 2 by 9. So this number is the multiplicative inverse of this number, and this number is the multiplicative inverse of this number. The multiplicative inverse of each other. So children, I hope you are clear with this. You are cleared with this concept. Now let's go for multiplicative identity. Children, we have to understand one thing over here very nicely. Multiplicative identity means it's always 1. Like if I multiply a number with 1, that number will be returned, which what I've considered, what I've taken, that number will be returned. For an example, A into 1 is always A. B into 1 is always B. 5 into 1 is 5. 6 into 1 is always 6. So multiplicative identity is always 1. Means a number, actually the definition should be like this. What is to multiply with a number in order to get that number in return? The answer is 1. If I multiply any number with 1, I'll get that number in return. Or the number what I've considered, that number will only be my answer. So in that case, multiplicative identity is always 1. A number what I'm multiplying with 1, I'll get that number in the place of result. So of course multiplicative identity is always 1. So children, I'll be expecting you all will be trying the examples or the questions given in the exercise 1.1. The questions regarding additive inverse, multiplicative inverse and multiplicative identity should be practiced. See you in the next class. Thank you, children.